This morning, UCLA was locked down during a tragic murder-suicide around 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it left many wondering if a killer was still on the loose. And it unfortunately took quite a while for us to know for sure that the shooter was amongst the dead there. The situation has now been resolved. LAPD Chief Charles Beck confirmed that the shooter was one of the two men killed in a small office in a building in the campus's engineering complex. Authorities did not identify the victims, and a motive was not immediately clear. Police confirmed a note was found at the scene, but they had not determined where it originated or if it was connected to the shooting. I know that you saw at one point bomb control vans heading towards there. There were actually hundreds of both local and state police authorities on the scene, and the LAPD chief has announced that the campus is now safe. Although we have heard rumors that some of the professors still expect their students to take exams.
That's amazing.
No, not on the day of a shooting. You don't take exams. So
yeah, you would be totally shaken by what just happened. And so now we know that it was a murder-suicide, and I don't know if that makes people feel better, but at least we know that there isn't an active shooter on the loose that's threatening these students or people on campus. That was the big fear. As I was driving to work, I saw a bomb squad vehicle like rushing toward the Westwood area, which is where UCLA is. I also saw a number of ambulances rushing over there as well. And I didn't even think about this, but my mom had her kidney transplant at UCLA, and she has to go to UCLA regularly for checkups to make sure everything's functioning properly. And she had told me that she was at UCLA this morning, but she had left right before the shooting occurred, which, I mean, she'd be at the hospital, so I don't know how close that is to the engineering building, but it hits close to home. And it reminded me that when we have these discussions about shootings, whether it be mass shootings or something like this, you know, we talk about it as if it's not something that's going to happen to us. Or if we acknowledge that it could happen to us, we don't really believe it. At least I don't, right? Yeah. And then this hit close to home, and it really made me realize, no, this could happen anytime, anywhere in the U.S., considering how easy it is to access guns. And every time stuff like this happens, we never have a conversation about gun safety, ensuring that people who shouldn't have legal ownership of guns don't have access to it, whether it be children who have parents that are legal gun owners. You know, we need to have conversations about that if we're unwilling to have common sense conversations about gun regulation.
Yeah, I was there today. And what was really remarkable to me is after being locked down for 2 hours, the students, they came out and it was just kind of, they went about their days, you know? Like I, as a reporter who went, I did not lose sight of the fact that 2 people died, but I'm not criticizing the students. I think it's a real reflection on the fact that our society is so numb to this because it's just commonplace now. Personal story, the reason I wanted to join the Young Turks, other than it being badass, the clinch for me was watching Cenk go nuts after San Bernardino. I must have watched that video.
I remember sitting next to him on that.
I must have watched that 50 to 100 times, and I think that I spoke with students, and we have clips of it, that essentially said the same thing. Like, yeah, I mean, people just kind of went upon their days. When I was driving back in the car here, I said to my cameraman, Huffington Post has on their front page something about Donald Trump. UCLA is like 6 stories down. I'm not criticizing Huffington Post in particular. I just looked at them.
We are desensitized to it. Sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, when we were having our production meeting today, we talked about how we have to cover this story, and someone raised the issue of, well, there have been multiple shootings like this recently that we haven't covered. And I think the reason why we haven't covered it is because it's just so commonplace now that we would just be covering shooting stories on a daily basis.
That could be the show.
That could literally be the show at this point. The reason why we decided to do UCLA is because it was so close to home, and we luckily had Jordan to go do some field reporting there.
Yeah. And of course, at that time, we didn't know what the situation was. I mean, the biggest fear, and this was a big part of the fear with San Bernardino, is that you don't know where the person is. I mean, they could conceivably go anywhere. You hear that they drove off, and it's so close by. On the campus, they could be hiding in any building. And once you find out that the person's dead, obviously there's some closure, as horrific as the situation is. And look, in America, at one point we were just used to murders and murder-suicides. Now we're also used to active shooter situations, mass shooting situations. But even as used to as we are just people marching onto a college campus and shooting the place up, there's something I think about a murder, even a murder-suicide, that we're just so used to that in America that it's much easier for us to wrap our heads around that. rather than just the sheer randomness of going to a place and trying to kill as many people as you can. It's no less a tragedy, but we are far more used to it here. Now, as you alluded to, Jordan actually went and spoke with some of the students at UCLA today. And so here we have the first video with Jordan talking with a student about the mental panic of the event.
When you're in lockdown, like, you have no idea what's going on, and everyone's just saying there's 4 shooters, there's shooters everywhere, gunshots reported, even if they're false or true. And like, you have to take it with a grain of salt, so you don't really know what you know and what you don't know. And the fact that you feel so powerless in your own knowledge makes you panic, in a sense. But it's not necessarily like physical panic, it's just it's all mental. Right. Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would definitely be panicked, and it wouldn't just be mental, it would be physical as well. I think I'd be crying, to be honest with you.
And also, we got to remember, you correctly alluded, it's a murder-suicide, so it's easier to wrap your head around. Most of these are mass shootings.
Yeah.
You know, most of these, unfortunately, are 9 people, 10 people, sometimes 20 people. So a lot of times people are panicked because they don't know if their friends are part of. Parents, more parents are panicked when you start hearing numbers into the teens. So this is kind of it's 2 people dead is horrific, but this is the exception to the rule where the mass panic isn't even worse because of the sheer numbers. I think another thing that I found interesting on campus is the fact that people were kind of on social media the whole time. And not intentionally, but there's such misinformation that goes on because
it spreads.
Right, and it
viral,
spreads.
Yeah.
So that kind of adds to the panic.
Yes.
Yeah. On the other hand, once the final information comes out, it's a little bit easier to get to people. I mean, I read accounts that they were using Yik Yak to keep up with the situation, and you think about like pre-cell phones, shots ring out, people close their doors, they block the door, and they have no idea what's happening. They have no way of knowing. So at least now it is possible for information to get to them. Some reassurance, the ability to contact your family and friends outside. So that makes it a little bit easier, I'm sure, to get through. So I do want to go to your second video because you saw some elementary school kids. They were on campus for a field trip.
I saw more than one group of elementary school children.
Oh, really?
They, like the students, were in lockdown for almost 2 hours, but they were on a field trip. So, I mean, you could watch the video, but bottom line, in a lot of situations, a shooter on the loose, you got field trips going on with, 7 to 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
It could be worse. Not only that, what could happen to them, but the fact that you're seeing this as a kid.
That you're experiencing it when you're so young. Yeah. So why don't we roll that video?
Hey, officers, was there children? So, I want you to see what's going on right here. This is about almost 3 hours after the shooting. There were little kids here on a field trip. So essentially, I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just telling you the reality. There's a whole classroom of school kids here. Yes, they were on lockdown. I'm assuming all of them are accounted for and safe. But you had school children here on a college campus for a field trip while a shooting was going on.
And that's America.